Have you ever wondered what your life would look like if you put all of your effort into your dearest endeavors? Maybe you wouldn't be where you're at right now, who knows? There seems to be a million things that can stop you from fulfilling your dreams. Especially if you're not ready to go the extra mile to get it and sacrifice short-term wins in order to achieve long-term goals. So how do you even become successful in something? I'm here to show you what it really takes to get there, using a little bit of modern science in my personal experience. What does success in life even look like? Piles of money, expensive cars, lots of free time you can spend in luxury hotels. For many people, it sure sounds like this. But being successful is subjective and can vary tremendously depending on individual goals, values, and aspirations. However, in general terms, being successful means achieving desired outcomes, reaching set goals, or fulfilling a specific purpose in one's life. So it means getting what you want from your life. As for me, it seems like the most difficult thing you can do on this planet. And if everybody managed to do it, would this matter even bother you? No, of course. If it was too easy, what would be the point of talking about it over and over again? But it's not by any means easy. So generally speaking, what do you need to get what you want? You need the right work ethic, values and behaviors associated with your approach to work. It encompasses qualities such as diligence, dedication, reliability, integrity, and a commitment to producing high-quality results. Strong work ethic is the thing that should stay with you even when life seems too difficult to handle. If you look at professional athletes, successful entrepreneurs, high-ranking politicians, they probably share some things in common. And one of them is their work ethic. They may seem like they are talented, and that's why they achieve such heights, but talent without constant work will not be able to get you there. So let's dig into some tips that can make you more efficient and help you overwork others. Continuous learning. Mistakes make you stronger, right? Research shows that in some cases they do. In short, making mistakes while learning did benefit memory and lead to correct answer, but only if the guesses were close. If you've ever been a great student at one point of your life, or maybe you are right now, you know that mistakes are an integral part of studying, and even most skilled students make them. Maybe less often, but they still do. We often avoid mistakes at all costs. However, embracing imperfection can be a powerful tool for personal growth, creativity, and learning. There is a phenomenon called generation effect. In a couple of words, actively creating or generating information yourself leads to better retention and recall compared to simply passively receiving or reading that information. Basically, when you actively engage with the material and try to produce it from your memory, you're more likely to remember it better than if you just read it or heard it without any effort to actively process it. Maybe that's the reason why some teachers actively engage with their students so they find the right answers themselves. Some people refer to this as Socratic method of questioning. Socrates was a Greek philosopher. Many people consider him as one of the most influential of his time. It is a form of a dialogue based on asking and answering questions, so to make the other person think and draw out ideas. Have you ever tried creating flashcards to study? It's when you actively generate questions or prompts on one side and provide the answers on the other. By doing so, you're engaging with the material, and this process helps you remember the information more effectively than just reading from a textbook. And generation effect is not only about academic studying. You can use it in other areas of your life, like exercising. Sometimes explaining to your friend how some exercises work helps you go through the whole process once again and come up with the reasons why you should do it this way. Not simply following momentum, but questioning some of the things you're already used to doing. The act of generating information helps solidify it in your memory and enhances your ability to recall it later on. Speaking of engagement and taking initiative, let's talk about being proactive. Seems to me this word's popularity has grown last several years. Proactivity is the trait of taking initiative, responsibility, and control over one's actions and decisions. Proactive individuals define their objectives clearly and create actionable plans to reach them, rather than passively hoping for that elusive overnight success. This proactive approach aims at increased productivity and efficiency and elimination of procrastination. So you're not waiting to visit your doctor until you have serious health problems, but you do it in advance and regularly. And it's not a piece of cake sometimes to stop following momentum. But if you're being proactive, you'll make a rational choice in this situation. Did you know that people who changed their jobs at one company and moved to another receive more money than their former peers who remain? That's one of the examples of proactivity. Is it easy to leave your job? Maybe not. But if you actively search for possibilities and plan in advance, it's totally manageable. Let's look at another financial example, like investing your money. You can take a peek at calculators online and find out how much you can generate in 10 years using, for example, index funds. Yes, it takes a lot of time, but you don't even have to do anything difficult. You can invest the same amount of money every month. It's called dollar cost averaging. Even if the price changes, you're not affected by it dramatically, because when the price is down again, you just buy more shares with the same amount of money. Why don't people do it? One of the reasons, it's not the only reason though. Not everybody wants to wait for so long to get their reward. Not every human being wants to take actions in advance. Now let's talk about the work itself. What should we do in order to get more things done than the people around us? You know, in physics, work equals force times distance. And if I created a formula for work done when it comes to personal productivity, it would look like this. Work equals productivity times time, where productivity is the amount of work done in a specific time. When you look at this formula, it looks pretty obvious actually. Never mind. My point is, if you want to get more work done, you can either increase your productivity or time spent, or even better, both. If you work inefficiently and spend too much time, or you work extremely efficiently but only for a couple of minutes a day, that's not cool. And if you want to achieve the most, you should spend enough time and do your job the better way. And how do we do that exactly? Time management and deep focus. Here is what my system looks like. I like time blocking. So I have, let's suppose, 5 hours for editing my new video. I don't engage in other big tasks during that time interval and try to reduce distractions as much as I can. Time blocking encourages a proactive approach to work, where you plan your day in advance and allocate time efficiently to different activities. You reduce the need for constant decision making about that throughout the day. I've personally noticed that it seems to reduce decision fatigue and conserve some mental energy, allowing me to make better choices when it truly matters. But in my system, small breaks are allowed. It's even better if you make them. So when I notice my focus starts to drift, or when my timer goes off, I sometimes set 60 or 90-minute timers, I go for a quick walk or meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. And then, with partially restored energy, I continue where I left off last time. I like creating quite big time blocks, usually several hours, and avoid switching from one task to another too often, because it feels exhausting. I also like week theming. When it comes to the YouTube part of my life, previous week was dedicated to writing scripts for several videos, and now to the part about focus and distractions. I usually work on my laptop and sometimes in my phone, and the main distraction is themselves actually. I wish I could say that I have such a strong willpower that if I watch Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, I can stop at any moment I need and get back to my work. Unfortunately, it's often too difficult to fight such a temptation, so I avoid it in the first place. I also use airplane mode from time to time. My phone basically becomes a brick, and I can stop worrying about almost any notifications, messages and calls. There are more advanced tools, but the airplane mode is still the greatest of all times in my opinion. Speaking of other tools and applications, maybe there will be a time when you're gonna realize that the things you used to use to fight distraction don't work anymore. Of course, it doesn't mean you should freak out. If you do realize that they don't serve you well anymore, it's time to move on and find something that's gonna work. That's okay. I used to use an app that measured my screen time on different applications and then blocked access to some of them if it was exceeded. And at first it worked brilliantly. But then, after I made a couple of exceptions, I found ways to turn it off subconsciously, and it used to work really. So those were my thoughts about this topic. I truly hope this video is helpful. Subscribe if you want to see more, and definitely have a good day.